What's up, everyone? It's Caddy with MoneyVest. So in today's video, I wanted to break down three super high quality stocks to buy and hold for a super long term. And when we're talking super long term, I'm talking 10 plus years out, because these companies are absolutely fantastic in the way they do their business. They are consistently profitable. I mean, their fundamentals are just impeccable in terms of revenues and profitability and margins and, of course, balance sheet. These are very well-established companies that are part of the S&P 500, so these are not going to be new names. So this is not an underrated stock that I'm presenting here in this video, but really the three companies that I believe are buy and hold, even could be forever, because their monthly charts, their technicals look very, very fantastic. With the exception of one company, the other two are just incredible in the way they operate in terms of their fundamentals here, and they have done really well on how consistent they have been. So hope you all enjoyed this video and find it helpful. Make sure that you drop a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're just joining us for the first time. I would really appreciate that. And links to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below if you're interested in joining. There is a 16% annual discount that's available until the end of this month, and there's a few more spots left if you're interested in joining. So I'm going to present all three companies here in one go. We're going to take a look at the fundamentals, and then I'll break down my intrinsic value, my fair value with the sensitivity grid, and where they are going to be very good deals in my opinion. So the three companies are going to be Microsoft, Visa, and Adobe. And the reason why I like these three companies, of course, this is not in no way that, okay, if Caddy likes these three companies, that means other ones are not worth investing in. No. I mean, you guys know Tesla is one of my biggest positions. I am a long-term believer in Tesla, very, very optimistic about the future. I also believe, in PayPal and Enphase and, Google and Meta platforms, a lot of these FANG stocks and Magnificent Seven companies, including AMD, NVIDIA. I mean, those all have their own place and how well they're potentially, in my opinion, going to do. But the idea with this was to really help you understand how consistent these companies have been in terms of their fundamentals. So what I mean by that is, if you go over to, let's say, Adobe, right? If you click on Adobe, if you click on Visa, if you click on Microsoft, and you just simply come over to the financials tab, what you'll notice is straight up pure consistency. I mean, take a look at how well the revenues and the gross profits, and of course, if you come down, the operating income. If you scroll down a little bit further, you take a look at net income here, and how consistently the net income, everything has grown for these businesses because they're so sticky in the way they operate. It's a very, very sticky business model. That's why they've been able to consistently grow their revenues, their profitability, their margins, everything, while the shares outstanding basically staying flat and even going down in some instances. And then if you come over to profitability, so if you take a look at the margins, excellent margin. We're looking at A+ all across the board, very, very high gross margins, very high net income margins, very high EBITDA margins, very high free cash flow margins. So that's why the title of this video is going to be three highest quality stocks to buy and hold forever, right? For a very long time. Again, same thing with Visa. You can see how consistent they've been. Gross profit also moving in the right direction. Take a look at operating income. You come down, net income also moving. Every single year they've been able to grow net income by shares outstanding also going down. Margin wise, once again, take a look. A's across the board, very, very high margins. And then if you come take a look at their balance sheet, all of them have excellent balance sheets. So if you come over to the peers section, so all the way down here, balance sheet, we're looking at a total debt of about $111 billion for Microsoft, and total cash. They're not accounting for the long-term assets that Microsoft also has, because right now they only account for $81 billion in total cash and cash equivalents and short-term investments. But if you come over to the balance sheet here, this is what they are basically accounting for: $111 billion last report, $81 billion. But if you come over to long-term assets, if you come over to long-term investments here, that's increased to over $13.3 billion here for the company. That's gone up from about $6.87 billion in the last couple of quarters and a couple of years, actually. So again, they do have more cash than debt on the balance sheet. Again, Adobe has negative 2.73. Visa has a little bit more debt than cash on the balance sheet, but all of them have a very good current ratio of well over 1, and debt to free cash flow is close to 3, under 3 for these businesses as well. And if you take a look at the valuation, now valuation is a little bit on the concerning side for some companies. So Microsoft, of course, 35, 31. On a non-GAAP basis, we're looking at 26. 37 on a trailing basis, 35 on a forward basis. Visa is also kind of on par with Microsoft in the 25 to 22 range. And Adobe has come down because after the earnings, it did drop a little bit here. And the PEG ratio is 1.79, which is a lot better than Visa and Microsoft, which is exactly why I'll go over my intrinsic value here for all three companies and where I would personally be a buyer for these stocks. And you can take a look at the sensitivity grid and based on different earnings multiples and different growth rates, what is an appropriate valuation for you. But the bottom line is, I mean, these are companies that have incredibly sticky business models with significant tailwinds long term. Microsoft with cloud, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, of course, those are very, very sticky business models in general because of the application, the software as a service business. Visa, when it comes to payment processing, again, a leader in credit and debit cards. It's a huge payment network that's used all over the world. And Adobe, when it comes to its application of suites, whether it's Premiere Pro or Photoshop or After Effects, it's been kind of the leader when it comes to using creative design and suite of applications here with respect to the creative content creators here as well. So again, all three businesses, super significant moat and excellent margins, excellent profitability, and consistent cash flows. This right here is going to be my fair value on Adobe, starting with Adobe. So we're looking at about $267 to $289 per share in intrinsic value, and right now it is going to be trading at just over $500. So it definitely does require a significant amount of potential downside for Adobe for it to come down to reasonable levels, and it's going to be somewhere around here. Originally, that was the fair value from back in October. Adobe rallied over 130, 140%. Now, you can, again, argue, you can take a look at different fair values and different growth rates. I mean, if you believe that Adobe has a potential to grow at 22% and demand a 35 times P multiple, then the fair value will be $526, and that means it is currently undervalued. But that's only if you believe that Adobe can and will demand a 35 times multiple, growing at 22%. I've taken a more conservative approach of 14% growth rate and a 25 times P multiple, even 27 times multiple, puts us at just under $290 or $300 per share. So this is a stock where, I really wish it was part of my portfolio. I really wish that I could buy, but it's going to be at the right price. Okay. Every investment, every asset can be worth buying only if given to us at the right price. Everything, right? Every asset you can buy if given to you at the right price. So Adobe, Visa, Microsoft, these are fantastic businesses, high quality stocks, high quality companies if given to us at the right price, right? I wouldn't want to own an excellent investment and at the end of the day overpay for that stock or overpay for that company and then regret my decision later if the market kind of values it where I originally thought it should be valued at. So for Adobe, 300, sub 300 would be an ideal price. Maybe I could see myself starting a position in the mid 400s, right? Dabbling in a little bit in the 400s, but then ideally the heavier of that position will be picked up in the low 300s, sub 300 ideally would be some levels to watch. And support level for Adobe is going to stay put at 436 all the way down to 315 and 275. If you take a look at the monthly chart here, very, very consistent in how well it has been going up. So since 1986, 87, Adobe is up a whopping 318,000% from those levels. A very, very nice consistent uptrend for Adobe. Same thing is true with Visa. Take a look how amazing this entire chart is, and just consistently pushing higher highs, higher lows, hitting at new all-time highs here. And if you come take a look at Visa's fair value, it's going to be sitting at $243, $263 per share. It's actually going to be a lot closer to where it's trading at the moment. Right now it's at $285. And this is, again, going to be the entire analysis, but $249, $250s down to $234. A lot better in terms of that intrinsic value for Visa. Expecting about a 14% growth rate with a very reasonable 20-25 times multiple. That's going to be some compression in the overall price for Visa. So that right there in the 250s, sub 250s would be a pretty good price point to look at for Visa. Ideally, 170s, 180s would be just perfect and chef's kiss. Now, finally talking about Microsoft. Microsoft also, if you take a look at the monthly chart here, just incredible uptrend, consistently pushing higher, making higher highs and higher lows, hitting a new all-time high here. So we already know how high quality of a company this is. And my fair value for Microsoft is going to be sitting in the low 300s. Again, some people might disagree, but that's okay. This right here are going to be some support levels to watch, with a very strong support in the 397, 400s, down to 360s and 350s. And ideally, this right here would be a level where I could see myself picking up more shares and dollar cost averaging and buying a lot more heavier and aggressively in and around these levels, in and around those prices for Microsoft in the low 300s. So hope you all enjoyed this video and a complete update on the three high quality stocks that I feel like are very good candidates for buy and hold forever stocks. But let me know in the comment section below, what do you think? Because these are three companies that have significant advantage in their markets, respectfully, and again, strong moats, very sticky businesses, and a lot of tailwinds to continue to grow the revenues, the users, the profitability, and the margins, especially when you kind of add the artificial intelligence angle as well. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Again, Adobe is going to be in the low 300s, sub 300. Visa is going to be in the 240s and 250s, and Microsoft's going to be in the low 300s as well. So as always, make sure that you drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video.